Hello there. My name is Sarah Jenkins. Welcome to another poetry deep dive today. I love Denis Martindale. He has written over 3,700 poems for the Poem Hunter website. Denis Martindale has written another amazing little spider-themed poem, and the title is The Spectacular Spider's Web. Here is what the brand new poem's message shares with us today. Okay, let's dive into this explainer. The poem immediately grounds us in a very specific, quiet moment. It's a Thursday afternoon. The date is July 2nd, 2026. We can almost feel that cool breeze he mentions, right? It's a perfectly ordinary day, the kind of day where you just stand at your front door to take a breath and look at the world. But, in poetry, and especially in nature, the ordinary can shift into the extraordinary in the blink of an eye.
Section 2 of 52-inch Mystery, An Impossible Gap.
Right from that gentle, breezy opening, the poet's observational eye catches something. He notes that he suddenly saw something that was, in his exact words, somewhat amazing. It wasn't some massive event or a loud noise. No, it was a tiny, almost invisible disruption in his everyday environment, something that absolutely was not there the day before. Let's look closely at what he discovered. He writes, I saw a single thread of a spider's web dangling across the empty airspace of 4 feet 4 inches. I mean, just imagine walking out of your front door and spotting a single, impossibly thin line of silk bridging a massive gap of empty space. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer scale of this tiny architectural feat, 4 feet and 4 inches. When we break that down, we are talking about exactly 52 inches of uninterrupted horizontal thread just dangling there in midair. For a creature as small as a spider, bridging a 52-inch chasm of pure, empty air is, well, it's nothing short of an engineering marvel. It completely defies logic.
To really picture this, we have to map out the physical space the poet is standing in. So the thread originates from the front wall of his house, and it stretches all the way across to the garden's brick wall. Now, the poet looks at the garden wall and spots the main web. It's a large circular web about as big as his outstretched hand, and he notes that he can easily understand that web. It makes total sense for a spider to anchor a circular web against the solid, flat surface of a brick wall. But that one solitary thread stretching 52 inches all the way back to the house, that is the real puzzle here.
And get this, it wasn't just high up out of reach. He noticed this first thread was hovering just inches away from his best reading glasses. Just picture that for a second. You walk outside and suddenly a completely horizontal line of silk is hovering right in front of your face. He asks the totally natural question, horizontal threads, but how? How on earth does a tiny spider shoot a web horizontally across a 4-foot void without gravity just pulling it straight down?
Section 3. How did it get there? Investigating the physics.
Let's move on and see how this builds into almost a miniature crime scene investigation. The poet doesn't just marvel at the web, he actually tries to deduce the physics of it. He starts piecing together a fascinating hypothesis about the weather and the environment to explain the impossible. He envisions the wind acting as this chaotic pendulum for the spider. So, step 1. Was there a strong gust of wind that actually blew the spider right off its main web on the garden wall, casting it all the way across the gap to the front door? Step 2. As the spider flies through the air, a single line of silk unravels from its body, acting as a lifeline. And then, step 3. After securing that line, another gust of wind catches the dangling spider and forces it right back to where it started, leaving this perfect 52-inch bridge behind. It's just an incredible image of nature adapting to sheer chaos. But, well, as is often the case with these fleeting moments in nature, practicality takes over. The poet notes that he couldn't just leave these sticky threads hanging right in front of his face by his front door. So he dismantled them. He tore down this tiny engineering miracle. And it's only afterward that the regret sets in. He realizes way too late that the evidence is gone, and he entirely forgot to use his camera to take pictures of the phenomenon. So we're left only with his account. Section 4. The Unseen Housemates. A creepy pivot. But this is where our explainer takes a bit of a turn. What starts as a delightful, curious observation of nature right outside the front door slowly begins to pivot. The poet starts to think about the implications of what he just saw, and the tone shifts from wonder to something just a little bit more unsettling. He begins to wonder about the unseen spaces around us. He asks, are there longer spider threads out there somewhere? Threads that stretch out over 52 inches long? Think about it. If a spider can bridge a 52-inch gap outside in the wind, what else can they do?
Where else are they building these massive invisible bridges while we aren't looking? And this brilliantly illustrates the real horror of the poem, because he takes that 52-inch measurement from the front garden and he brings it indoors. He realizes that 52 inches is the exact same distance in his bedroom, from the bedroom light bulb on the ceiling straight down to his bed. And who exactly is waiting in those indoor spaces? He describes them as those silver-colored thingies. You know the ones. The large, thin, gangly-legged spiders, the ones that just hang out in the dark corners of bedrooms. And the most terrifying characteristic of all, they are really, really hard to see. If they can drop 52 inches of invisible thread from the ceiling to your bed, well, you would never even know they were there until it was too late. Section 5. Good luck sleeping tonight. The final thought. So the crucial point is how this completely reframes the entire poem. What began on a Thursday afternoon as a cheerful appreciation of a cool breeze and a neat little spiderweb ends in a terrifying realization about the spaces we sleep in. The poet imparts a chilling core message here. Once you see that 52-inch thread, it cannot be unseen. You know exactly what these creatures are capable of. And these nearly invisible, gangly-legged spiders aren't just out in the garden. They are outside the house, yes, but they are also inside. Inside his house. Inside your house. Which leads perfectly into his final sentiment, delivered just as you're turning off that bedroom light bulb to go to sleep. Good luck sleeping tonight! He signs off the piece with a clever nod to the ultimate spider-themed creator himself. As Stan Lee, the creator of the Spider-Man comic book character, might say, "Nuff said." It's the perfect punchy ending to an incredibly fun, yet wonderfully creepy account. So the next time you feel a cool breeze or brush against something unseen in your bedroom, just remember this spectacular 52-inch web. Until next time, keep your eyes open, and thanks for exploring this amazing poem with me today.